This is Sam Selisker, NBC News.
And Sam Smith, NBC News. Tonight's top story is about invasive species right here in our home state of Minnesota. They are doing some major damage to us, and there's many different types. So tonight, I'm going to look at some water ones, and my associate Sam will look at some land ones, and then we'll learn how we can help control them and all do our part. So first up to bat, we have the zebra mussel, which is a commonly known species, and despite their small size, the little buggers can be annoying and harmful. These guys hitched a ride over to America from Russia and Europe in the cargo of ships. They get their name from the stripes on their shell, which are kind of yellowish and brown. And how they're doing damage is they're filtering the little bits of dust and stuff out of our lakes, which, is making them clear, right? You think that's good, right? No, it's not good at all. It's increasing underwater growth, which is using up oxygen and taking up food that native fish would be eating. So, what's up next? Second on our lineup, weighing in at 110 pounds, is the big-headed carp. They get to be real big, folks. These giants can also do quite a bit of damage to our sports vehicles, or even ourselves, if we happen to be on an inner tube or water skis. Back in the day, some really smart guys decided, let's just bring these things over to help clear the plankton out of our lakes. But what they didn't count on is how fast they'd spread. These monsters spread very quickly, folks. Although their population isn't as large as some other populations here in Minnesota, the DNR is raising awareness about them, because right now, if we all do our part, we can help to control them. Sure, they hurt a person here or there, but what's the real problem? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how much food do you think they need to get this big? They need a lot. And by eating all this food, they're eating some of the food that native fish would eat. So you think we're done grossing you out with these wonderfully adaptive and invasive species? Well, think again, folks. We're just getting started. We've got zebra mussels on second, big-headed carp on first, and batting for the invasive species is the Eurasian water milfoil. Shall we take a minute to learn about this next organism before we hear from Sam? I think yes. Eurasian water milfoil was spread to America by accident from Europe. See, we're getting quite a few of these species from Europe. Most of them didn't originate here in the U.S. This species is spread inland by boaters and by water birds. It spreads so well because of stem fragmentation, which is part of the stem breaks off, moves to a different part of the lake, and another crop is grown, choking out natural vegetation. This is harmful because it's keeping the natural vegetation from containing itself in its normal habitat. Also, it's taking some of the food away from fish. And before I give you over to Sam, let's take a look at some pictures. Right here is a zebra mussel. You can tell it's this because of the stripes here on its D-shaped shell. What's this? A big-headed carp. One way you can tell them is this upside-down face. It's not natural, folks. It's just not. And finally, Eurasian water milfoil. It may look natural and it may look perfectly fine in your lakes, but it didn't come from here. So Sam, what can you tell us about some land invasive species?
Well, thank you, Sam, for speaking about our invasive water species in Minnesota.
No problem.
Minnesota is suffering from invasive land species, as well as invasive water species. Some of these species include the emerald ash borer, the gypsy moth, and newt swans. The emerald ash borer is a type of beetle that was found in Asia and brought over to the United States by trading cargo. Yes, they hopped on some cargo crates and came on over to the U.S. The larvae of the beetles feed on the inner bark of ash trees, disrupting the tree's ability to distribute water and nutrients. Millions of ash trees have been lost due to this beetle. Some symptoms and signs that your community might be getting affected by these bugs are bark splitting, visible tunnels under the bark if you peel the bark off, and increased woodpecker activity because the woodpeckers like to eat the larvae. If you happen to see any of these symptoms, please consult your local DNR, please. The gypsy moth is another invasive land species, disrupting some environments and ecological niches in southern, central, and northern Minnesota. It is a moth that was brought over from Europe through trading cargo. Yes, again, these moths hopped on some trading cargo crates and rode a boat over to the U.S. The caterpillars and the moths both feed on the leaves of trees, sometimes completely defoliating them. If you do not know what defoliating means, it means de-leaf the trees. And if they do it enough times, they can possibly kill the tree. Many trees have died from the moth and its caterpillar. Some symptoms and signs that the gypsy moth may be invading your local ecosystem are many trees without leaves in a certain area, and little white caterpillar eggs on the side of one or some trees. If you happen to see any of these symptoms, please consult with your local DNR immediately. One more invasive species is the mute swan. The mute swan came over to the U.S. from Europe and Asia around 1900. We do not know the cause about how they come over here, but we know that they came here from Europe and Asia around 1900. The mute swans chase other land and or water birds and can cause them not to make a nest and even die. One bird, yes, one bird, can uproot about 20 pounds of submerged aquatic vegetation daily, reducing important native aquatic plants that fish and other water birds eat. They live around lakes and ponds. The adult mute swans have all white plumage, vibrant orange bills, and black knobs above the bill. Young birds have grayish bills. And native swans have entirely black bills. If you see one of these birds in your community, please consult your local DNR ASAP. Now let's go over some pictures. Can you guess what this is? Yup. It's the emerald ash borer. This bug / moth is the gypsy moth. And Sam, can you guess what this is?
I'd be willing to bet that's a mute swan, Sam.
You are correct.
Yes. And now, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right with you. That's your cue. I've been feeling really down and tired lately, man.
Have an AW10!
Ah, cool, man! I just want to hit something! Hit me! Ah! I broke your wall!
Break walls with AW10. Hello, and welcome back to tonight's broadcast. Now we're going to be talking about how to prevent some of the spreading of the invasive species in Minnesota. First off, to prevent the spreading of the emerald ash borer, the DNR is finding people who take an infected ash tree or firewood out of the infected community. To control the spreading of the gypsy moth, people can spray chemicals on the eggs, killing them. Or you can release a virus called nucleopolyhedrosis virus, which kills the caterpillars immediately. To stop the spreading of the mute swans, the DNR is putting up state game farm licenses to fence and contain them. As you can see, invasive land species in Minnesota really affect the environments and an organism's ecological niche. Those were a few of the invasive land species. If you'd like to learn more, please visit www.dnr.state.minnesota.us. Thank you and have a good day. Now over to you, Sam, to finish us off.
Alright folks, so we've heard a little bit about land species, now we're back to water species once again. See, we spend a lot of time here in Minnesota on our boats, our jet skis, and other aquatic vehicles. So, best thing you can do is do careful cleaning of your boat before you move it from lake to lake, or from lake to river, or from any body of water to another body of water. Just be conscious of what you're taking with you in your coolers, or just in the bottom of your boat. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember that next time you're out boating or hiking in the woods. Thank you, and have a nice day.
This has been an NBC News special report.